If your business collects emails, runs ads, or uses a CRM, GDPR applies to you. The real question isn't whether to worry, it's whether your current exposure is worth acting on. So the direct answer is yes, GDPR applies to your small business. UK GDPR, adapted into UK law via the Data Protection Act in 2018, covers any business that collects personal data. Names, email addresses, phone numbers, that's enough. Two misconceptions cause most of the confusion. First, that GDPR is a catastrophic legal minefield requiring expensive lawyers. It isn't. Second, that regulators only pursue large corporations. They don't. The ICO, the UK's data regulator, can investigate any business, and fines can reach up to £8.7 million, or 2% of global annual turnover. But for most small businesses, the more immediate risk isn't a headline fine, it's something quieter. Most GDPR problems aren't dramatic breaches, they're everyday habits that quietly accumulate risk. And three specific areas catch small businesses out. Bought email lists. Purchasing contacts and emailing them without consent is a direct violation. Cold outreach without a lawful basis. If you're running cold email campaigns, you need a documented legal reason to hold and use that data. Tracking pixels without disclosure. Analytics and advertising pixels require a compliant cookie consent mechanism. These aren't edge cases, they're common practice in small business marketing. The compounding problem is that the longer these run unchecked, the harder they become to unwind. And reputational damage can follow too. And for a small business, losing customer trust often costs more than any regulator letter. So how much does this actually matter for your situation? Your compliance burden scales with what data you hold and how sensitive it is. Here's a simple way to place yourself. If you're service only, hold minimal contact details, and don't run outbound marketing, your exposure is relatively low. If you run email marketing, cold outreach, ad tracking, or collect health or financial data, your exposure is meaningfully higher. So the question to ask is, what personal data do I actually hold? Where does it live? And do the people it belongs to know I have it? That single question surfaces most of the risk, and the answer tells you how much action you need to take. So here's your decision rule. If your data footprint is small, block out just one day. Map what personal data you collect, where it's stored, and why you hold it. A simple spreadsheet works. Check your privacy policy reflects what you actually do. Confirm your website cookie consent is compliant. That's a meaningful reduction in exposure for most small businesses. If you're running email marketing or cold outreach, audit your list sources and consent records first. Those are your highest risk areas. The businesses that get in trouble with GDPR aren't the ones that tried and fell short, they're the ones that assumed the rules don't apply to them. And that assumption is the actual risk. If that was of value, subscribe to the channel for one real business question answered every video. For the same clarity in writing, the website and newsletter is 5minutebusiness.com.